Hey, welcome to the Happy Rant podcast. I am Ted Cluck, joined as always in studio by my good friends and partners in radio, Barnabas Piper and Ronald J. Martin. And boys, we have come to the end of a long journey. That is our journey with Noah Events Venues. So hard to say goodbye, man. Hard to say goodbye. They're packing their stuff up here at Happy Rant Corporate and moving out. But moving in is an old friend, Pipe, an old friend of the program. An old, ethnic, exotic friend named Hector Lagares.
That's the whitest way to describe anybody. The only people who use the term ethnic are like sociologists and white people.
Dude, I'm the worst, though. As we discussed last week, I am a middle-aged, white, heterosexual Baptist devil. Everything in the world is my fault. So I've just leaned into that. I've leaned into it a little bit. But no, I love Hector Lagares, all kidding aside. Lagares Roasters coffee is all I drink in my home. It's all I would ever drink. And Piper, they have a little holiday promo running right now, don't they?
They do. And it's for all of our listeners. So if you just use the code HAPPY20 at checkout, so you go to lagaresroasters.com, search around their delightful roasts, their tea blends, all of it. If you use the code HAPPY20, you will get a 20% off discount your entire purchase. So,
dude,
this sounds to me like an opportunity to have a very Merry Christmas and to give a very Merry Christmas to everybody who loves coffee and tea in your life. And I think they're basically running it for the month of December or until they decide not to run it anymore thereafter. So they could extend it. But jump on it quick so you get your stuff in time for Christmas. They're super prompt shipping everything out. I just ordered 2 bags yesterday, and I can't wait for them to come in because I'm in that I didn't time my order right. So I ran out of Lagares Roasters before I got my next round.
Yeah, that's tough.
Pipe, we're so sorry.
I'm drinking
that's hard,
Seattle's Best. And I will tell you this. Seattle's Best does not hold a candle to Lagares' Worst.
Exactly.
So, yes, order this, not the grocery store garbage that I'm currently drinking, which is just disappointing.
But what are we, animals? Are we savages? I mean, come on.
Goodness sakes.
We've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle as a result of this
right.
program.
I mean, you get into this podcasting game, it raises the threshold of your expectations of what you'll tolerate in your mug, and I can barely tolerate the swill that is coming out of my French press today.
Boys, this lifestyle is excessive. I could never go back. So I hope this trajectory continues as it has been. And speaking of things that are excessive and decadent, and interesting trajectories, I need to get an update and a check-in from no longer Ronnie Tarmac. For this month, he is now Father Christmas. Ronnie's proverbial plane has landed in Ashland, Ohio, which he is making his home for the next month.
But to be fair, it's really more of his sleigh landing there, given who he has become.
And to be fair, too, I mean, just to be accurate and correct in our reporting, it is actually his home. Like, it's where his tax returns get mailed to, but often he is not there. But he is there for the month of December. And Piper, you mentioned that Ron has been really active and really prolific on social media, just kind of archiving each and every nook and cranny of his Christmas decorating. So I want us to talk about that. So I want to get an update from Ron. I want to know how the decisions are made as to what gets photographed, what gets posted, how it makes you feel, etc. So Big R, I'm envisioning you like in an actual gingerbread house right now, like in a gingerbread studio as we record. So why don't you talk us through where you're at, although if I was on social, I could probably just see everything, there. But talk us through that whole thing, baby.
Well, baby, I appreciate the shout, the Father Christmas shout. So, I mean, the whole thing starts for us on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, where we start. We put on the music. Yeah. We start thinking about what life's going to be like on Friday when Thanksgiving is over. We can finally start thinking about the holiday we've been waiting all year for, which of course is Christmas. I'm going to send you guys a picture right now of where I'm sitting to give you a literal glimpse of exactly what you just described. And you can describe it for our listeners right now. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So I mean, guys, there's a lot of there's a lot of Christmas trees. There's a lot of gingerbread.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Hold up. A lot is a sliding scale. So a lot of Christmas trees for me is more than one. Yeah. So I need to know what your scale of a lot is, because that's not a hard number.
Well, I'm in the kitchen right now, and I'm currently looking at 4. So I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know if 4 is a lot or not. In my kitchen, yeah, I have 3 mini ones in the corner, and then I have sort of a tall one up on the the kitchen island that just is sort of holding ground up there, because it's usually where I'm at, which is on the kitchen table, and I had to move it to the island. So, and I just sent you guys some of Big M's baking.
Baby, now those don't look like they're on the Whole30. Like, unless those are like kale Christmas cookies. Like, I'm not sure you're going to be able to eat that.
You guys got to understand something, man. I don't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff in December.
Put that on a little hiatus for December?
I mean, it is all sugar. It is all pastries. It's all baking.
So for the listeners, this is a picture of a cooling grate with beautifully decorated Christmas star cookies frosted with, I don't know what flavor it is. I mean, it could be, I'm guessing, some sort of a buttercream kind of thing, lightly sprinkled with, I see red and white sprinkles. There might be some pale green on there. And then there's, on the background, there is a shelf with, just sort of very farmhouse decorative kind of stuff. So this is what Ronnie is staring at while he's talking about all this. So he's very much in the mood.
I'm in the mood, and I'm in the mode because we transformed the house on Friday, which is Tree Day. So it's a Christmas wonderland, because I can't live anywhere else in the month of December.
Baby, can you talk me through like how you decide what to post on social? So you're in the Christmas wonderland. It's clearly not quite magical enough just to be there and not to like post pictures of it. So how do you decide what gets posted and what gets just sort of kept like private?
Boys, it's just completely organic. I mean, I don't know. I'll just be caught
Maybe
up.
That feels like a cop-out.
Unlike the cake and cookies, the posts are organic.
They're completely. I mean, I'll be caught up in something. I'll be sitting there with a piece of cake. I'll be sitting there with one of my Christmas mugs, and I just feel like I need to share this. And so I
what kind of feedback are you getting on it? Like, what do people say?
Okay, so my favorite one so far was believe it or not, boys, was Trogs. Trogs wrote me, and he literally said, "Dude." This has got to stop.
Oh, he wrote you? I thought he could just like open his window and shout that to you by this point.
No, that's coming.
Okay,
that's coming.
He is showing up on December 23rd in his motorhome, and he's about to start emptying the sewage into your.
He's going to be straight up Chevy Chase.
He's going to be wearing a white sweater and a green dickie underneath it, a green turtleneck.
Cousin Eddie Trogs will be showing up in 27 days.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of dresses like that. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Dude, really?
He kind of has a little bit of that vibe. Yeah.
A little bit of Cousin Eddie vibe?
He has a little bit of that vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does he have uncomfortably tight polyester pants to wear for nicer occasions like Cousin Eddie?
He's not that cool, Pipe. Let me just say that. He's not that cool.
Dude, but, describe Trogs' fashion aesthetic, and then I have a business question to lay on you.
Trogs, I mean, he's not really a fashionista. You know what I mean? Trogs is like he's just like. I don't know.
That's the understatement of 2018, by the way. Let's let that one.
I mean,
sit
there's
for a
nothing
moment.
remarkable about anything that Trogs wears. Like I hung out with him that 2 days or 3 days he was in Ashtown, and there was just. I mean, honestly, if I would have blinked my eyes, I would have thought that he was just another, Ashtown resident.
Dude, so he's not like North Face guy. He's not like hikey, bikey, outdoorsman guy. He's not like full on Nashville hipster. So like none of those kind of tidy categories that we're used to.
No, nothing. In fact, and what was remarkable to me, it was starting to get a little chilly when he was here.
Yeah.
And dude is like, I mean, homeboy is just like he's wearing a t-shirt, like just doesn't care, like totally unaffected.
Dude, so he's not like Sporto guy either. Has he gotten all his like Cleveland Browns and Ohio State gear now?
No, man, there was no sports stuff. It was just a t-shirt, moderately ill-fitting jeans, and like just like sneakers.
Interesting, dude. That works.
And I say sneakers because like they look like sneakers.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like every Midwestern dad I've ever known.
I think he was pretty Midwestern dad. I think he was pretty MD. If I'm going to be honest,
it was MD.
Midwestern dad.
I love
Stephen L. Trogi, MD. It sounds like a TV show.
Yeah, not medical doctor, Midwestern dad.
Now, baby, as you think about your Christmas life, which, because of the miracle of social media, has become sort of a public life, is there space? And Piper, I want you to chime in on this first because you're the kind of book industry guy in the room. Do you think there's space, Pipe, for like an evangelical Christmas guy? Do you think Ron's wheelhouse could be like kind of reformed evangelical like the Christmas guy, in the same way that like I don't know, Louis Giglio is the guy that looks like he shops at Forever 21 and like I don't know, the guy we always
and
make.
David Platt is like sacrifice the fish crackers for missions guy.
Yeah, Platty's like be miserable for Jesus guy. Like, do you think Ron could be Christmas guy? Is that a category that could work for our boy?
There's a market tension there because I think he would have to set aside. I don't think you could pull that off in the evangelical world very neatly because we have strong guilt feelings about the commercialization of Christmas. Now, granted, we all spend $7 trillion on Christmas,
dude. Right, but you have to be conflicted about it. You can't enjoy it.
But we have to feel at least low grade guilt about doing so.
For sure,
it's true.
So I'm not sure that we could just wholeheartedly embrace like the Christmas guy. Mm-hmm. Now, I what I do see for Ron is a killer side hustle as like Christmas decoration suggestion Pinterest guy who, you know, you could, if somebody sent you a photo of their living room, you could just send them like 7 quick pointers and charge them $300 for it.
Dude, he could be like the Noah's Events venues of like Christmas decorating, in that Ron could.
Yeah, I mean. Dude, you wouldn't even have to go to their place. You just like, hey, upload 5 photos of this room from different angles, and I will tell you how to turn it into a Christmas wonderland.
Well, yeah, because you know our boy hates to travel and get on an airplane. Baby, you could be traveling the whole month. Like,
why can't I just be the Christmas guy? Why? I mean, what?
That's what this whole conversation is about.
In the same way that Jay Pipe is the glory guy. I mean, in the same way that Keller is the Manhattan, you know, turtleneck,
love the city guy. Yeah, turtleneck.
I mean, why, you know, why can't I be the Christmas guy? I think about that all the time, and I don't disagree with Pipe. I think that there's too many preventative things out there that are preventing me from doing that.
How many years ago was it that you started thinking of this as a career move? Because I know you've thought of it. I know
literally
you thought
maybe
of
25 years ago.
Oh, okay. So it was like way predates like us meeting each other and
the
and
internet.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, it predates the internet. I mean, I've thought about where can I find my niche as just the all thing. All I want to do is write Christmas books. All I want to do is experience Christmas all year round in some particular form. And I want to be, so in other words, like Christmas only comes once a year, but I want to be working towards it all the other months.
Baby, can you quantify why it's so magical for you? Because I think, Pipe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think we enjoy Christmas. Like Christmas it's better than fine. You know, like it's a nice time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do look forward to it. I enjoy it, but it's not like anywhere close to sort of magical for me. How has it become that for you? / how have you retained that sort of magical outlook on Christmas when the rest of us tend to sort of not do that?
I don't know. I think part of it is, I mean, we're getting a little serious here.
Yeah, no.
We're getting a little reform podcast right now. But
dude, by all means.
It's I think it's just because I tend to be very nostalgic. And so when my mind goes to the past, those are always the memories that come up are the Christmas memories. And those were like good times in the childhood. Yep. And so now whenever this time comes around, it's like a flood of all those memories coming back. And it just seems like everything is right in the world when Christmas is happening in the world.
So do you have the ability then to like, and I think this is part of my problem vis-a-vis Christmas, and Piper, I want to hear your take on this too. So like, I'm not a very good compartmentalizer such that like if I have something at work that I'm worried about or like a project that I have to do, like I can't just like wholesale forget about it during Christmas. But you strike me as like in order to enjoy Christmas at the level at which you enjoy it, you must be a good compartmentalizer.
Dude,
like,
you know what's so funny about that?
Yeah, even if work sucks, you can totally unplug it.
No, that's a great question, Big T. And here's the deal. Like this is all serious stuff now.
Yeah.
So like I super struggle with that.
Really?
So So the fight for me every year as I've gotten older is not letting all of those other things creep in to kill Christmas.
Yeah,
because
they can.
They can, and they tend to at different parts of the season for me.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm too overwhelmed with a particular like thing or a situation.
Yeah.
And so like that's always what I'm like. That's always like the angst for me with Christmas is that trying to protect like the beauty and the magic and the nostalgia of it. And dude, it just gets harder as you get older. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So like I'm fighting all during the season. Like I'm just fighting. And so like, I guess creating sort of like the magic around it as thickly as I try to create it, it's almost like I'm trying to like create as many sort of as much padding as I can so that those other things can't creep in. You're
insulating yourself with Christmas from all of the rest of the crap.
All the Christmas destroyers. Yes.
Dude, so when does Trogs arrive with his family? Like when
tomorrow.
The 20th, 21st, tomorrow? Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Love it, baby.
It'll be a Christmas surprise. He'll roll into town with a caravan just like the wise men did.
Dude, can I have the movie rights to that, by the way? Can I write that script?
As long as I can do the soundtrack.
Of course, baby.
National Lampoon already did. Sorry, man.
That's true. That would be hard to top. So if we were casting a Christmas movie about Ron's life and about Trogs, like intruding on Ron's ideal Christmas, like who would play both guys, Piper? Who would play Ron and who would play Trogs?
Trogs could be played by... Oh, what is the SNL guy? Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Actually, I've got an SNL guy for Ron, too.
Oh, really?
Fred Armisen. I think they look alike.
Wow. That's
Ronnie's
really,
way cooler than Fred Armisen,
depressing.
though. Like, Armisen is...
Dude, no, but like Portlandia Armisen, you know? Portlandia hipster
but he's still
Armisen.
he owns nerdhood, and Ron rises above nerdhood. Ron is not nerdy in the slightest.
Somebody just told me somebody just sent me a picture of Ty Dolla $ign and said I look just like him.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
He's a rapper. You can Google him right now.
How do I spell that name?
It's Ty, Ty, Dollar, Dolla.
Oh, there it is. It autofilled for me. Ty, yeah, you do kind of look like him. A little bit. Different hair.
Let's see. Who would play Ronnie? Our listeners are going to have 1,000 suggestions on this because they've sent us suggestions on who Ronnie looks like before, and I can't remember who they are. Trying to think of sort of a...
I get a lot of Jimmy Fallon comparisons, so I might...
But he's like manically happy, and you're not. I mean, he's much more Buddy the Elf than you. If Jimmy Fallon was to be in a Christmas movie, he would be an elf, no question. Let's see. Jude Law doing an American accent would be you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, wow. So like Jude Law and Bill Hader. That's who I'm going with.
Dude, what about Rainn Wilson as Trogs?
Wow.
What about Rainn Wilson as Trogs, and then either Michael Scott or Jim Halpert as Ron? You know, just kind of
John Krasinski could. He's not quite like, he still has too much of a baby face to be Ron. He does,
yeah.
But he's getting there because he started to do like the bearded. He's doing more mature things, like he's growing up in front of our eyes from Jim Halpert into really creative films guy. So he's a few years away, but Rainn Wilson is an interesting call. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that too. I would love to see that play.
I'm intrigued by it.
I'm intrigued by it. I'll have my agent put the finishing touches on the movie rights to that, and we'll definitely keep you guys posted as that project.
What would we title this movie?
Wow, that's good. What street do you live on there in A-Town, Big R? You probably don't want to divulge that. I was gonna say Miracle on whatever street. The Miracle being the Trogs.
Center Street. Miracle
on Center Street.
I was trying to think of something with the word neighbor in it, but that always sounds like a horror film, you know? Like the crazy... I mean, and we could slant it that way, but I don't think that's the angle we were going with for a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Dude,
we'll have to work on that one.
It's a Less Wonderful Life. I don't know.
It was a wonderful life.
No, yeah, it was a wonderful... It's a life. Yeah, how about that? It's a life.
Shrug.
Yeah, it's a life shrug. Yeah.
Or just it's
life happens.
Yeah,
just
and just Ronnie in like a Christmas sweater, like shrugging on the cover. I love it. We could just mine his Instagram for a movie poster, Piper. That'll be enough. And by we, I mean you. Boys, the end of the year brings with it a lot of things in addition to Christmas. One of the things that it brings with it is the just proliferation of arrogant people on the internet sharing their book lists, i.e. lists of all the books that they read in the past year, kind of thinly veiled as a, this is a top 10 or this is a ranking or these are books you need to read. What do you guys think of that?
Or here are my Amazon affiliate links. Please buy these so I can make 12 cents a book.
Yeah, so I can make $20. Yeah. What do you guys think of this practice, the book list thing? How does that strike you?
Well, I have a confession to make, and that is in my earlier blogging days, so it's been a few years, I did participate in this.
Sure.
And I think just because I was sort of riding the wave of this is what you do with the blog, it's also like the easiest post to come up with. Yeah. Because you already did all the work, and then you're just listing things and being like, this is a great book, buy. Yeah. Pick your favorite fill in the blank. And but I felt it felt very gross afterwards. It's a little bit like retweeting a compliment. You do it once and then you're like, oh, that's why I shouldn't do this. That was a poor choice. So, I have done this, and my thing is, if you like a book, recommend it when you like it. Yeah. So I like getting book recommendations from people online. When people are like, I'm reading this book by so-and-so. It's fantastic. I like that. That's helpful. Yeah. But the year-end one is like a compilation of accomplishments. It's much more of a list of accomplishments than it is a list of books. Yeah. It's a list of braggadocio.
Like, what do you mean? Like accomplishment? Like, I read this book?
Like, look at what I've done.
Look at my intellectual prowess. That's what that list is. Whereas if you just are recommending a book, I'm reading Hillbilly Elegy or whatever, that's circa 2017, I mean, then you're just saying you like something. That's a good use of the internet. Bragging about all of the things that you have accomplished, that's a bad use of the internet.
Dude, what if that's the list we put out? What if
these are all the things I accomplished?
Yeah, as a group, we just put out a list of all the things we accomplished. And mine would have
it'd be a short list for me, but yeah.
I got a chainsaw this year. That was pretty awesome.
That's right. I just bought a new TV on Black Friday. Does that count as an accomplishment?
Yeah.
I found a huge TV in a ditch. I told you guys that story, right?
You told me that story. I don't know if it was on the podcast or not.
Dude, no, I was out for a jog, man, and there was this huge Vizio flat screen.
That's an accomplishment. Television. You went jogging. There you go.
I went jogging. Yeah, the one time. But yeah, I looked in this ditch. Not in front of anybody's house, just in front of the woods. And there was a huge Vizio flat screen TV with no power cord, no remote. So I dragged it in the house and I bought a power cord for it, and it sprang to life, boys. So now I'm obnoxious huge TV guy. And before that, I was obnoxious small TV guy. I sort of took pride in how not a priority television was in my life, except that I'm not that guy anymore. I love TV now.
Come over and watch a game at my place. Everybody's like,
dude, they bring their binoculars to sit on the couch.
The sports bar. Yeah. Is there Buffalo Wild Wings near you?
Exactly. So yeah, my accomplishment list I think would be pretty short, but chainsaw and ditch TV would definitely be on it.
What about you, Ron? What are your accomplishments this year? You averaged better than a conference a week. What are we looking at?
52 conferences.
It doesn't feel like an accomplishment to me.
Well, that's because you're so used to it. It doesn't feel like an accomplishment to you.
Right,
which is why I jumped at Ted going jogging because that seems like an accomplishment to me. Whereas a marathon runner's like, so what? That's not a big deal.
Okay, so here's something that wasn't really an accomplishment, but I think Piper would feel like an accomplishment to you is that I got to take that sabbatical this year.
That was an accomplishment for the podcast, if nothing else. It was just,
that gave us
fodder for months.
Oh, right, man. That was gold for the podcast purposes.
It was good. I mean, it was gold for me too. Even though I didn't do anything to get it. I just I received it. So
yeah,
I feel like an accomplishment is something that you kind of have to work for it, right? You have to do something. You have to.
Yeah. Are you not familiar with America, Ron, and how things work now? You don't have to earn anything. You just have to claim things. Remember, I'm an expert at something. I've accomplished it because I said it was true.
Okay, cool. I accomplished my sabbatical.
There you go.
My sabbatical this year.
Yeah, and if you talk about it enough, it becomes
What have you done this year, Big Art? Oh, I did a sabbatical. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I mean, explain like just the challenge of that and the difficulties of that.
Exactly.
Well, if you got to couch it correctly, you can say like I focused on self-care and my own well-being. I really emphasized that this year. Then it's an accomplishment. Yeah. Whereas like you say sabbatical, people are like, oh, you didn't do anything. But if you say I did self-care, which is another way of saying I did nothing, ta-da, major accomplishment.
Cool. Okay, I did self-care January through March this year.
Dude, so self-care...
Look at that, like a quarter of the year in self-care. That's amazing.
I had an extended period of self-care this year, guys.
There you go.
Man, it was hard. It was hard. It was rough. I mean, I don't know how to pitch this to you and tell you,
Yeah.
It's tough focusing on self-care with beaches and sunshine and mountains when your Midwestern home is being blasted by blizzards. So yeah, I commend you for your accomplishment.
I know it was tough.
That's good self-care, boys.
I can't even talk about it. So if we can
Baby, have you ever done one of these blogs? One of these look at all the books I read blogs? Have you done one of those?
I've never I've never gone down and said, okay, this is the 3 reasons why I loved Hillbilly Elegy. Like I've never done that. I've just posted a stack of books and said like I'm reading these or whatever. But I would never want to take the time I think to print it all out like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think about it. But also I don't really care if anybody else does it either because I don't have to read it. And every once in a while somebody will like post a stack of books and I'll just I'll look at it and I'll be like, well, all right, I want to hear what he has to say about this book because I've been thinking about that. So it can be useful too.
Sure. Sure.
When people post stacks of books, is that what they're actually reading, or are they just like grabbing books off their shelf and being like, hey, this looks impressive?
I don't know. My stacks are always literally so for me personally, when I post a stack, it's like that's what I'm diving into.
Dude, do you post a stack often? Are you a stack guy?
I think I posted a stack during my self-care. Okay. And then I posted my Christmas stack.
Little self-care stack?
Yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie is much more aggressive with his Christmas decoration posting than his stack of books posting.
There's no doubt.
He's not a book over poster by any means.
Yeah.
I think you also you might have posted a picture when you got Virgil Wander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because again, that's a book worthy of recommendation. Mm-hmm. But not a lot of aggressive.
Yeah, not a lot of that this year. I mean, I've been more aggressive with my book postings in the past, and so that's something I need to get back.
That was when
on.
You were building. Yeah. That was when you were building your other brand, not your Father Christmas brand.
Right, my other brand. Correct.
Yeah, the leadership pastory brand.
Right, that other brand thing that I got going on the side besides my right.
Dude, we got to focus on Father Christmas.
The guy behind the guy.
Yeah. Father Christmas needs to be. We got to go all in on that brand, though.
Guys, can't I just be the Christmas guy?
Dude, the industry is listening. I think like lots of dignitaries in Christian publishing, star makers, baby, people who are star makers, and you know who they are. They listen to this program, and I think they want you to be Christmas guy, as much as Piper and I want you to be Christmas guy. We really want this for you, baby. Okay. And we're going to get there, and it's going to take a village. It's going to take all 3 of us. But I think if we all 3 work together to make you Christmas guy, then this is a dream that we can all realize together.
Well, I know a guy on the podcast that works for a company that publishes books. So I mean,
yeah, I don't want to name names, but yeah.
I mean, right. I don't want to name names, but I feel like I have a little bit of a lead in there.
Ted,
maybe. I don't know. Am I talking crazy talk right now, man? Or,
No, you're not, baby. You're speaking my language. Believe me. I'm right there with you.
Said publishing representative is not ignoring this conversation. He's filing things away. I mean, here's the thing. You have to get in the publishing cycle at the right time. It's a little late for being Christmas this year, but if you do effective Christmas brand building this year, and I have to say your social posting was a real strong start because like the cake and the cookies and the lights and the Christmas Wonderland all just on point.
Absolutely.
This is a proper setup for us to have conversations in early 2019 looking toward the festive Christmas season.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
2019.
How am I even forgetting this? I've already laid down the groundwork. I have an Advent book coming out in 2019.
So a little plug. Little plug.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's the initial plug. We'll plug it more later. But like
that was a severe by the way.
Yeah.
No, it really wasn't. No. I'm not even going to talk about that, but I'm saying like that I literally without even remembering it, I'm laying down some groundwork right now for it.
Baby, you know.
Without even remembering. I don't believe that for a second. You're way too savvy for without even
No,
remembering.
I'm not savvy at all. I'm literally not savvy.
Baby, you know what this is going to take, though. I mean, what it's really going to take to make you Christmas guy is a conference. You've got to have your own signature Ronnie Martin Christmas conference, which means you're going to have, it's going to be hard, but you're going to have to get on a plane and book a venue, book a Noah Events venues somewhere and host your own Christmas conf.
A Christmas concert.
Dude,
I mean,
no, not a concert,
conference.
a conference. We need talks, we need breakout sessions, we need reform guys telling us how to think about Christmas. Like this.
I mean, who am I going to? I mean, who am I going to?
Christmassy thing I've ever.
Who am I going to
of
book
course.
for this thing? Like Jeanette Oak and like the guy that did like the Hallmark Channel like movie, you know, Christmas Mistletoe Inn, you know, last. I mean, like who do I get to even like speak at this thing besides me?
No, here's what you need, Ron. You need to do a YouTube show built around Christmas. So like
Yes.
you in your Christmas cardigan by a roaring fire with, you know, you get your ambiance, and then you read. Well, you could read an excerpt of this Advent book you are working on, or you could read like A Christmas Carol, which is a classic. Any of these things, and so and you just do that. You know, you do it in sections, so like a chapter at a time, and you do a YouTube show. I think that's an effective brand building strategy.
I just hate being filmed, man. Maybe I'll just start my new podcast finally, and it'll be all Christmas.
You know, it's going to be really hard to build a brand if you won't let people see you, Ron.
They got to see you, baby. You got to sell it. You got to sell the dream.
Just think of it as a conference, except on screen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I guess my dream is dying.
Father Christmas is down. We've ruined Christmas for him, Piper.
Down goes Christmas.
It only
Guys,
took
I gotta
35
go.
minutes.
I gotta get out of here.
Baby, no. Let's bring you
we
back
I
up.
feel like
Ronnie's
it feels
Christmas
like
in
Easter
32
right now,
minutes.
and I'm really unhappy.
Baby, we're going to bring you back up, and here's how we're going to do it.
Feels like Valentine's Day, and I'm just.
We're going to talk about something near and dear to you because you are a resident man of the cloth. We're going to talk about pastoral entrances. So, Piper, I used to be a boxing writer, and as such, I used to be a real student of how the fighters would like walk into the ring and what music they'd be listening to, and kind of what would be happening in the arena and what the atmosphere was. And now, thanks to our listeners reaching out, we have amazing listeners. They send us things all the time, things to talk about. Apparently, pastors have kind of gotten onto this train where the elaborate pastoral entrance has become a thing. And we recently learned of a man of the cloth somewhere else, not a colleague of Ron's, who floated down to the stage to give his sermon. I assume there was an elaborate system of wires and trusses and just things that are kind of above our pay grade engineering-wise to make this happen.
Or just the Holy Spirit. Who knows?
Or just the Holy Spirit. At any rate, he floated down to the stage, and Ron, as our resident man of the cloth, I want to know, A, what you think of this, and you're going to say the right things there, but B, if you didn't feel beholden to say the right things, like what would you want your entrance to be?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I just want all I want for my entrance is I just want like really I just want like a soundtrack playing that like just creates this epic, okay, this is what I always think is funny, and I can't believe no one's done it, and people probably have done it.
Yeah.
But like what I always think would be kind of funny for a soundtrack for an opener is like all these like action adventure soundtracks that have a bit of mystery to them. You know how they always do this thing now where all the soundtracks do this? They do that gong, gong. You know what I mean? And it's just like this. It's like this alarm going off, and they just keep building.
Didn't
from
that sort of
scene to
start
scene.
with Lord of the Rings? Except it was like they had like it was almost like a foghorn kind of sound.
Yeah, I mean maybe. I mean Lord of the Rings is too like soundtrack, but like just that whole thing where you're like, that's all the whole soundtrack is, and it's creating all this tension. I always just think, dude, that's what I want to walk out on.
That'd be good.
But like the letdown after I get up there and then say, grab your Bibles and open to Galatians. It's going to be just horrendous, man.
That's
it's
great.
so horrible.
That's great. That makes it even better.
I want Ronnie to ride in on a reindeer. That's what I
that
want.
would be amazing.
I
feel better now. I feel like the ideas and the juices are starting to flow again. Thanks,
dude.
for saying
I want
mean-
Ron. No, here's what I want, Piper. In the spirit of inclusivity and equality, I want Ron in a sleigh, sitting next to a reindeer, while four like hipsters pull Ron and the reindeer in a sleigh.
like
the
like dogs,
like
the
dogs.
Iditarod.
Yeah, like the Iditarod, the hipster Iditarod. And
the hipsterod.
Who do you think the 4 guys should be pulling my sleigh, Big T?
The 4 hipster guys pulling your. Well, I mean, Trogs will be one of them for sure. Not a hipster, but we'll make a concession.
Do you think? I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but I know this girl named Rachel Evans. Do you think there'd be any interest?
Would she have a shofar in her mouth or not?
I was going to say that would be my entrance, is Rachel the Held Evans blowing a shofar.
Yeah.
In the corner while I walk in.
While you make your way. I mean, right, while she's blowing it, or do you want her to finish and then you walk up, Pipe?
I think she would have to finish, and then there's like the dramatic pause and then walk in. Because the shofar is like the call to something, and then there's, once it gathers people's attention, and then I come in. So it's not like entrance music. It's like get everybody's attention music.
Call to worship, man.
That's right.
Guys, we got to stop talking about Rachel and the shofar for reasons that I can't get into on the program. That would be a great entrance, though. It definitely would. But, Piper, what other hipsters would be pulling Ron's sleigh?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, we'd have to get Judah Smith and his goggles.
Yeah, he'd be kind of like... He wouldn't really be pulling his own weight, so we'd need like a stronger one. Who's the East Coast Judah Smith?
Well,
the guy.
I was gonna say, you know how, speaking of the Iditarod, there's always like a lead dog, and they're the ones who they're the alpha and also the strongest one. That would be Carl Lentz.
Are any hipsters alphas or strongest ones though?
Carl Latz, as we like to call him.
Carl Latz, I love it. Yeah, no, Carl would definitely be there. He could really get that sleigh up to speed, I think. There's a lot of lower body strength.
I mean, and he looks like, unlike most hipsters, he looks like he's willing to break a sweat periodically.
He looks like he's willing to break a sweat, and he looks like he's had a meal or two, unlike most hipsters.
Guys, you know what? This gives me a great idea, though. For our next live gig, I want us to articulately plan out each of our dream sort of like walk-up introduction.
Wait, we can get Rachel the Held Evans blowing a shofar?
I mean, we can get. I mean, we might be able to
come to. You think she would come to the Gospel Coalition?
We might get a recording of it. I don't know.
I don't know that we could get her in the same metro area as the Gospel Coalition conference.
I might be able to get 4 guys to pull me up in a sled with that.
Dude, you know what I want? Have you guys? Of course you have. You've seen Rocky IV, right? The fight where Drago kills Apollo Creed.
You want that song?
No, I want where, you know how Drago's like underneath the stage and he's in the ring, and the ring itself kind of like levitates up through the stage, and then all of a sudden like Drago's there and you see him. I want that, man. I want that to be.
Is that, wait, Big T, is that the one where he's like, it pulls him up and he's kind of looking around, all the lights make him all disoriented.
He's all shocked by the spectacle that he's seeing.
Like, I'm not used to this because I've been like training in Siberia my whole life. In a
gulag, because he's such a gladiator. Like it wouldn't occur to him to do all that.
Like I've only ever seen like snow and candles.
Dude, and I'm gonna have that exact look on my face too.
That actually sounds like your dream life, Ronnie. Just seeing snow and candles.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that right now. I'm looking.
Maybe we need to get you into that cabin that Rocky had in Rocky IV. And it was all snow and like icicles and candles and.
Dude, don't think I'm opposed to that.
I don't think you are at all. I don't think you are at all. And I remember the Chipmunks Christmas album played prominently in those scenes as well. But yeah, a lot of nostalgia.
That may have been the downfall of that movie.
Yeah, among other things, there were a few things wrong with Rocky IV, but Drago's entrance into the ring was not one of them.
Wait, what are you talking about with Chipmunks? I don't remember that. What do you mean?
Dude, so Paulie, I've only seen the movie like 150 times because I was like a child in the late 80s. So.
Ted just got low-key offended that you questioned his knowledge of Rocky IV.
Dude, yeah, I mean...
Dude, I don't remember the Chipmunks making an appearance.
Dude, if you're Father Christmas, I'm like Father Rocky IV in the evangelical community. But no, like Paulie, remember how they fly into Siberia to train for the fight. They go into like the Siberian countryside, into like this little chalet, and it doesn't have TV, it doesn't have, there's no media, there's no nothing, but there's like a record player, and Paulie brings the Chipmunk like Christmas album because it's winter, and he's listening to it like while he's playing chess with with that other
remember.
Guy. Yeah. Okay. So. I mean, just a little thing you pick up with like the 75th viewing of Rocky IV,
The details, the intricate details.
Dude, I don't like to brag about my knowledge about it, though. That's the thing. I mean, I basically got like a PhD in it. I mean, the equivalent of that as far as like the hours I've put in. But I don't want to brag about it. It's not about me.
It's earned you about as much money as most people get with their PhDs. So
dude, that's true.
Good.
A lot of prestige, not a lot of money. I mean, everywhere I go, I kind of get that nod of recognition, like the respect that you get from it. But
it's Father Rocky,
dude. It's Father Rocky. No, I could really ride with that as a nickname.
Yeah,
I would take that.
I mean, do you think you can just be like the Father Rocky for the industry?
I would love to be the Father Rocky.
Actually, you kind of are, man. Who are we fooling? You got your place. I just don't got my place.
Baby, I feel like it's easier for me to be Father Rocky though. Like Christmas is a harder nut to crack, man, because it's like there's more people vying for it. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Nobody wants to be Father Rocky besides me.
Yeah,
you know?
Everybody thinks that they have a handhold on Christmas.
Dude, because everybody does.
Nobody's like grasping to be Father Rocky for. So Ted has a leg up.
Right, I do, man. I've got a very strong Drago-esque leg up, but I mean, we'll get you there, baby. We'll get you to Father Christmas. This is a group project now. You know, we got Piper involved, and happier days ahead, baby. Chin up.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah, chin up, baby. And you know what we've done, boys? We have managed to do what we always do on this program, in that we have wandered to and fro throughout these topics. We have connected with Father Christmas. We anticipate. Lots of family photos in front of the hearth with Trogs when he arrives. And boys, we've wandered to and fro. And until next time, Rachel the Held Evans.
The Happy Rant is brought to you by Resonate Recordings. If you go to resonaterecordings.com, you can see the full range of services they offer. So if you're considering starting a podcast, they are the ones we recommend going with. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see their prices, to connect with them and ask any questions, and to see what they can do to help you launch, edit, master, and improve your podcast. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see what they can do to help you launch and improve your podcast.